Did you know that the story of James Watt, the man whose very name became forever linked to power, energy, and the Industrial Revolution, did not begin with fame, wealth, and admiration, but with weakness, illness, rejection, and endless failures? Imagine being born in a time when society valued strength, health, and conformity, yet finding yourself a fragile boy, often sick, often doubted, unable to attend school regularly, unable to fit in with the standards of the world, yet inside burning with a desire so powerful that it refused to die. James Watt was that boy. His life began not in laboratories or grand halls of science, but in the shadows of doubt, surrounded by whispers that he might never achieve anything. But it is from such shadows that the brightest lights emerge. Watt's childhood was anything but ordinary, but not in the way most great men are remembered. He was not the boy who impressed everyone from a young age, nor the child prodigy who dazzled society with his brilliance. No, Watt was the boy whose frailty made him look weak, the child who missed lessons, the one whose teachers doubted his future. At an age when others were running and playing, Watt was struggling to even sit in a classroom without illness pulling him down. Yet in those quiet moments, while the world underestimated him, he developed a relationship with curiosity. He began to notice things others overlooked: the way machines moved, the way instruments worked, the delicate dance of mechanics hidden in everyday objects. What seemed like weakness to the world was in fact the foundation of his strength. As he grew older, James Watt's desire to work with instruments and machines only intensified. He wanted to become an instrument maker. Yet even here, society placed obstacles before him. When he tried to join the Guild of Hammermen in Glasgow, his application was rejected. Why? Because he had not served the traditional 7-year apprenticeship. To the world, this was proof that Watt was unqualified, unworthy, unfit. To Watt, it was another closed door. And yet, he refused to surrender. He worked on his own, repairing instruments, building tools, creating devices, often in isolation, often with little money, always fighting the ridicule of those who dismissed him. His little workshop was not grand, it was modest and filled with broken tools and half-finished projects. Yet it was here that the seeds of revolution were planted. But life has a cruel way of testing greatness. Watt's early inventions often failed. His prototypes broke down. His ideas, though brilliant in concept, struggled in practice. Investors who had once shown interest withdrew their support. His financial struggles deepened. He was mocked as a dreamer, ridiculed as a man who chased fantasies. His family began to feel the weight of poverty. Imagine the pain of knowing your ideas could change the world, yet lacking the resources, support, and recognition to bring them to life. Imagine being told again and again that you were wasting your time. Many men would have given up. Many men would have surrendered. But James Watt was not many men. There came a breaking point, a time when Watt's life seemed to collapse entirely. He was buried in debt, overwhelmed by rejection, tormented by the fear of failure. His reputation was fragile. His inventions had not yet succeeded. The world around him whispered that it was over, that he had wasted his years, that he had reached the end of his road. He stood at the edge of despair, facing the terrifying possibility that his dreams might die with him. This was the darkest night of his life, the storm before the dawn. But as history has shown us, it is often at the edge of defeat that greatness is born. Instead of giving in, Watt made a choice. He decided that failure would not be the end of his story, but the foundation of it. He worked harder, he studied deeper, he experimented endlessly. He asked himself questions no one else dared to ask. How could steam be harnessed more effectively? How could energy be captured, preserved, and transformed into something useful? And then, after years of struggle, years of ridicule, years of rejection, he had his breakthrough. Watt conceived the idea of the separate condenser, a simple improvement in theory, yet revolutionary in practice. By separating the condenser from the cylinder, he made the steam engine efficient, practical, and powerful. That single innovation did not just solve a problem, it rewrote the future. It was the spark that ignited the Industrial Revolution, the idea that transformed industries, railways, ships, and factories across the world. But even here, success did not come overnight. Watt still needed partners, resources, and recognition. For years he fought to bring his design to life, until destiny introduced him to Matthew Boulton, the industrialist who believed in his vision. Together they formed a partnership that gave Watt the platform he needed. His engines were built, perfected, and unleashed upon the world. Factories powered up, mines dug deeper, railways sped faster, ships sailed stronger. Nations advanced into a new era of productivity. And at the heart of it all was the fragile boy who had once been mocked, rejected, and ridiculed. James Watt's name became immortal. Today, every unit of power measured in watts is a tribute to his persistence. His inventions fueled an age of progress, transforming economies, societies, and nations. But beyond the machines, beyond the engines, beyond the factories, Watt's greatest legacy is his story, the proof that failure is not the opposite of success, but its very foundation. His life reminds us that rejection is not the end, but the beginning of reinvention. That despair is not the last chapter, but the page that turns toward destiny. That persistence is the bridge between failure and fortune. Watt transformed darkness into light, weakness into strength, rejection into revolution. And if he could do it, so can you. So remember his journey. Remember the boy too sick for school who became the man who powered the world. Remember the rejections that became the reason for reinvention. Remember the failures that became the foundation of fortune. And the next time you stumble, remember this. Your failures are not chains, they are keys. Keys that unlock the fortune hidden inside persistence. James Watt's story is not just history. It is a lesson, a beacon, a reminder that the world belongs not to those who never fall, but to those who rise again and again until their vision becomes reality.